So you love jets, you love the Navy, and you love carriers. And somebody has told you about DCS World, or you've just stumbled across it. So you're all excited. You hear about the supercarrier module and the high fidelity representation of carriers, and you're expecting this, or this, or this, or even this. But instead, you log into DCS, you get onto an aircraft carrier for the first time, and you are greeted mostly with this. And there's really two ways where you can fix that. You can either go on a multiplayer server and fly with your friends and populate the deck of the carrier with players like that. Or the other way is just to fill the deck with static objects, which is what most people do in the mission editor. But the problem with the static objects is that generally they are, well, static and they don't change once you set them. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is how to dynamically change that. So to do so, I'm going to be using Lua templates that were created by Red Kite. And I'll link his video, his original video, in the description below, which explains you how to do it and gives you examples. He's the guy who made the templates. So all I did is I went and edited the templates to customize them to my liking, and I'm going to be showing them here in this video. But before we get started, let's just go over and refresh ourselves with the topology of an aircraft carrier deck of a Nimitz class. So we'll take a look at this diagram. So basically the green lines are your catapults, Cat 1 starting from the starboard side of the ship, going to Cats 2, 3, and 4 towards the port. You get all your JBDs are the ones in the light blue. The point is on the starboard side of the ship. The point is your first area of parking. All the blues are your elevators, so elevator 1, 2, 3, and 4. The corral is the parking spot between elevator 1 and 2. The island, well, is the island. Behind the island, you have the junkyard where you put all of your deck equipment generally, and or a Hawkeye. Then you got elevator 3, the patio that usually it can accommodate about 3 aircraft. Then you got the fantail, where usually you'll see a bunch of aircraft, normally like at least 4, either 4 Hornets or 4 Tomcats, during launch configuration of the carrier. And then you've got the finger is right there behind elevator 4. Sometimes you can fit an aircraft there. Elevator 4 itself, right? And you got your foul lines. Those are the red lines for the landing area. And then finally, I guess you have the 6-pack is where usually up to 6 planes are parked. It does block the LA, and the street is the area between the 6-pack and the other, elevator 1, corral, and elevator 2. So that's kind of just to get our bearings when we go and look into it, and I'll be mentioning those things. And one more thing, just to give you an idea of my deck templates are kind of similar to what you see there on the screen on these pictures. So we got Tomcats and the fantail there, and then aircraft on elevators 4 and 3. Well, 3 is usually going to be empty, but and then 3 aircraft at one point. The Hawkeye just forward of elevator 3, the Seahawks next to the island, the Hawkeyes by the Hummer hole, the aircraft park on the 6-pack, all the aircraft are on the starboard side of the ship, and then all the Hornets lined up on Cats 1 or 2. Alright, so here we are. Welcome to the CVN 73 George Washington. And this over here is a CF-18 Canadian Hornet, Model 794. It's the with a demo paint scheme. And this is where you would normally spawn if you spawn onto your aircraft carrier for the first time in DCS. This is kind of what is called the street. Um, it's kind of between the street and the six-pack, more towards the street. So it's neither one nor the other. But this is one of 4 spawn points on the carrier, and the other 3 being just a bit further towards the back, just aligned with this one. And yeah, this is an empty deck, or sorry, an empty carrier, I guess. And as I said, if you're sick of seeing you know, empty decks, then this is what I suggest you do. So let's go ahead and taxi on off to one of the elevators. Sorry, fixing my track IR. Let's move out of the way here. And you can see it's quite boring, very boring, and not real life like at all. So let's mosey on over here. Oops. Towards elevator 3. Alright. Try to do a little bit of a tight turn. Alright, here we are, more or less. Parking brake on. External view. Alright, so here we are on elevator 3. So, here's where the magic happens with the Lua scripts that we talked about. We're gonna bring up the radio menu, and you have here ATC and ground crew, and all we're gonna do is go to Other, and here you have, or I have, created different types of deck configurations, each one linked to one of those Lua scripts. And there's 3 launch ones, 2 flex, and 1 recovery. That's how I build it. So let's start from launch. So the first one is launch with 2 spawns and catapults 3 and 4 being free. So let's go ahead and do that. And boom. We got a bunch of Tomcats here on the patio, on the fantail, and on elevator 4, along with that S3. And we have the one of the Hawkeyes over here. And if I scroll out, you'll see that Cat 1s and 2 are full of Hornets. And the whole starboard side of the ship has got Hornets. Here's the 6-pack with 5 aircraft, not 6. You could have 6. And we have a Greyhound, our 2 S2s here on elevator 2. The Hawkeyes on the Hummer hull, a couple of Seahawks, and I have not had time to go ahead put the stuff here in the junkyard, all the deck equipment, but that's where it would go. So as you guys can see, the this is in recovery mode because of these Tomcats. As you can see, they're blocking the landing area very evidently. So not only that, you can see the aircraft on the 6-pack, those Hornets on the 6-pack, they are also blocking the landing area. As you can see, their butts are sticking out of the foul line. But yeah, so these are arranged on the 6-pack, and over here this is the street, which, you know, kind of is between these 2 aircraft. So that is that. You would if you wanted to launch, you could use cats 3 and 4 over here. Alright, now let's go with the next one. Let me go into a different view. So we are still over there on elevator 3, and you can see that those are the only 2 available spawn points on this ship right now. So let's go ahead and go to the F10 map or menu, click switch deck layout, and all that does is it clears the deck. Then you go in and we'll go with 2 spawn and cats 2, 3, and 4 being available this time. So we'll have cat 2, which will be free as well in launch configuration. So here you see we still have all the Tomcats and the Fantail blocking recovery. We've got the 6-pack blocking recovery, but we have cats 2 cleared for launch. So that gives you an extra cat. Alright, let's switch again and go to our third one, which is 4 spawns, and this time cat 1 is going to be free. And there we have it. Everything is the same, except cat 1 has been cleared, and point, which is this area over here. I can't quite point to it. It's just in front of elevator 1, and elevator 1 have been cleared, so that people have more room to go ahead and launch from cat 1. So that's the last of the launch ones, and the next one is basically going to be flex, the next 2, and essentially you're going to see the Fantail Hornets, or sorry, Tomcats disappearing. So let's go ahead and do flex with 2 spawn and cat 2 being free. Well, looks like I didn't update that one properly. So yeah, something that I missed there in the script. But essentially, those Tomcats were supposed to be gone as well, so that you could basically recover. So let's see if the other flex one works. Maybe I forgot to update that one too. Flex 4 spawn. There we go. So yeah, that one didn't quite work, but essentially it's the same as this one. But instead of cat 1 being free, cat 2 is free, kind of like we had seen before. And you can see all the Tomcats are gone, and we have a clear path to land here. You know, the foul lines are respected if we go up and see. Those Hawkeyes have their nose sticking up, but I just can't get them to fit in there, and I know from pictures that I've seen that they're supposed to, so that's the best I could do. Yeah, this would be a flex deck, so you could be doing launch operations and recovery at the same time simultaneously, mainly using cat 1 to launch and having the LA or landing area free for recoveries. And of course, between intervals you can also use cats 3 and 4. And finally, to my favorite one of the bunch is the recovery. Hopefully that works. Yeah, it worked. So recovery, obviously landing area is clear. The difference is that the 6-pack planes are kind of behind the foul line and closer to the street there, and they're angled in a way to allow landing aircraft to have a clear lay. And the other difference is, you know, Cat 1 is, you know, full of parked planes, as is Cat 2. But in Cat 2, all I've done is I've removed some of the planes so that you could go ahead and once you're landed, you could go ahead and park there on Cat 1. And if you wanted to, I guess you could also use Cats 3 and 4 to launch. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Go ahead and do a little tour. And this is really good. Makes you really practice your deck taxiing. So here we have the patio Tomcats. All the fantail Tomcats are gone. We've got the S3 and the elevator 4 Tomcats. The S3 is on the finger there. That's called the finger. And turning around, we have this one of the Hawkeyes here in the junkyard. And as I said, the deck equipment is missing because I couldn't be bothered to put it just yet. Here's all the Seahawks. I have seen them in pictures facing the other way, so I'm not sure, and let me know in the comments. And then here we have 2 Hawkeyes in the Hummer hole. And again, I have no idea how they make them fitted with the nose behind the plow line there. Over here we have our 6-pack of growlers, or prowler, not growlers. E6 prowlers. There's 5 of them here. I didn't realize how big these planes were. So, and then behind that we have all the Hornets and the C2 Greyhound. And over here we have all the aircraft parked in Cats 1 and Cat 2. So let's pretend that we just landed. And typically you would land pretty far forward, depending on which wire you catch. But let's say you caught a 4 wire, it was a bad day. You probably would be in such a position that you might not be able to make that turn. So like if you were here, you could make the turn, but after a certain point it starts getting hard. But you probably wouldn't be further than here. But let's just assume that it's the really worst case. I don't know. Let's say you're just over here. I would probably go for a turn to the right. I mean to the left. And then basically try to do a 360 or 180. Give yourself plenty of room. And again, on videos I've seen of deck operations, they seem to be turning a lot more than what DCS allows. Anyways, we made the turn. And now let's presumably we would have deck crew and plane directors that would direct us to our parking. So let's assume that there's a bunch of guys telling us what to do, which in DCS, by the way, it is coming. It is coming. So we would be, you know, directed to go to Cat 2 for parking. So yeah, we just make our way. Originally, there was a lot less space, so I moved these guys a bit to give us more space. And yeah, we're gonna have to make sure. This guy thinks we're gonna launch. No, not today, buddy. And all you have to do is make sure you missed the bubble here, so that and then make your way out there. Next, we're clear on the left, and of course we would have, you know, yellow shirts telling us what to do. So not exactly fair to do it without them. It's a bit risky, a little hard, especially if you're not in VR and you're in 2D. Now this is gonna be the tricky part. I haven't even tested this. I don't even know if it's possible, but let's go to external view for a second. So we are here. So I know in real life they can make this turn, but yeah, let's go. Looks pretty bad actually right here. So since we do not have plane handlers, I am going to cheat and go to external view, because hey, it's how it is, right? Like, right, you see that it does narrow there, so it might be tough for that last guy, but let's try right here. Go full left turn. Ooh, that tail almost clipped the guy. Alright, so that was fine. Okay, I guess we can go back to inside view. But yeah, basically we were able to make that turn. And we would come over here and park. And make sure that our gear doesn't... And again, here we would have plane handlers telling us what to do, so realistically we would switch to the internal view, but let's see how we did. Not too bad, not too shabby. That could have been a bit closer. But let's test out turning from the very end there, huh? So first of all, let's pretend that we are going to go... yeah, fuck, I was gonna go... Yeah, let's just go. Oh god, that's gonna clear our nose. It did. Alright, for this I'm gonna go to external view again, because we are going to assume that we have freaking plane handlers. Alright, go. Now watch the right wing. Try to get as far out there as possible. And we're gonna see if it would be possible for somebody who is just recovered to be able to make this tight ass turn. And of course we would be let's imagine this guy is like the last. Ooh, that's tight. Yeah, let's imagine that this guy is the last Hornet that needs to park over there. Would it be possible? Alright. I mean, once Cat 2 is filled, you would probably park here anyways. But, let's see if we can make this turn. Oh, I think we can though. I think we definitely can. But let's give it a shot. Alright, full. Oh, I think I messed up. I think my tail is gonna hit. My tail might hit. I did not consider that. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to turn here without... Ooh. Gentle. Alright, now we gotta actually clear the tail, and there's no way. Ugh. Yep. Is there any way we can clear that tail and not fall off this? Nope. she goes. Alright, choose slot. Let's go for demonstrate respawning. The respawn is the 2 respawns there. So that works. Let's try this again, one more time. Because I'm pretty sure we could make that if we were the last Hornet to go park there. I didn't think about the swinging butt. Alright, back to the external view. Let's try this again. This time, remember that the Hornet has a butt. Okay. Alright, here we go. Come on, baby. Turn. I swear, like, in, yeah, it's not turning like, it's supposed to be able to turn more than this. I swear. But, that's what we can do with the DCS turning circles. There we go. That means, that would be the last Hornet. Parking. That's, I guess, be tough for that guy to park, but you could do it. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. As I said, I will if you guys want me to explain how I did this, it's not that hard, but it is a lot of work. Kind of decent amount of work. Especially if you're changing the location of the statics, and you gotta change a whole bunch of files. So, but if you guys want me to, I can definitely make that video at some point. But for now, know that with the Lua editing, you can basically, populate your aircraft carriers and dynamically change them through the F10 menu, or you could use other types of triggers if you wanted to. But yeah, like for example, you could take off and then come back into the pattern and change it to recovery, right? And as long as you are essentially anywhere forward of the one wire and in the LA, you are safe. Or in any of the designated spawn points, if that template has a free spawn. Like here, the only free spawn is the elevator 3. So if you're on elevator 3, you can safely change the entire configuration. Because all of the Lua files I have elevator 3 free. So you can be safe there. But let's say You were sitting in elevator 4 where these Tomcats are. Well, you know, they're there in every one of my templates, so you would basically not have a good time when you switch them up. So yeah, anywhere on the landing area or elevator 3 in my case, and you can switch these as much as you want. So yeah, that's it guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And oh, one more thing I wanted to mention is there's another script that basically uh, customizes AI's path on how they get to um, what do you call it, to their catapults from their parking. Like by default, based on certain spawns, they go to either Cat 1 or Cat 2, and if they're, like I say, in the back, they go to Cat 3 or 4. But you can edit that. I haven't tried that, but that potentially, with this editing these Lua static files, you could potentially integrate AI into this. Because right now, I mean, you see this entire section here. Let me go here. This entire section where all the 6-pack is, like this would be where like the AI aircraft, they turn here and they would literally plow through all of this, because they would go through here and they would try to park either here on the elevators or on the patios, right? They like to do that, a lot of them. And yeah, so if you wanted to accommodate that, you would basically have all of these aircraft that would have to be removed, which is not realistic, right? Because that's not how in reality you go parking. You actually go park in different places, and you can have those aircraft there. But with the customized template for the taxiing, um, then you would be able to probably customize that so that they avoid these aircraft when going to their catapults, and you could potentially integrate it. Or alternatively, if you want to not mess with all of that, then yeah, just make sure that you consider AI spawns and paths, and in that case, you would basically would not be able to have this many aircraft. But for multiplayers servers, all you have to know is you know, how many spawns at any given time you might potentially have. Like here, I just started with 2, right? But and once you have this template, it's easy to modify it like the rest of it. Like for example, if I wanted an extra 2 spawn points, I just get rid of these 2 Tomcats and probably that S3, and I would have 2 more spawn points. If I wanted, you know, 7 spawn points, I would also get rid of all these 3 Tomcats at point, sorry, in the patio, and that would be give me 7 spawn points in the back of the ship here, right? And that's how I would do it. Is I would reserve this back of the ship for spawning, um, and if you for some reason needed more than 7 spawn points, the next one I would do would be elevator 1. I can easily get rid of these 3 Hornets here, and that would give me elevator 1 that would be available, and that would give me 2 more, and that would give me a total of 9, right? So 6 on the 3 elevators, and you know, 3 there on the patio. 9 spawn points, and then if you really wanted to, I would not waste these 2 areas where these 2 Hornets are, because this is only a single spawn point, not worth it. This is another 2 spawn points, but then you would have to relocate these beautiful aircraft that add variety. And your deck would look a lot less populated. I mean, I guess it's fine, but that could give you 11 spawn points. Alternatively, you could get rid of all these prowlers, and there's 4 spawn points right here that you could use. So it would be extremely easy to modify. One thing I'm not very sure, and if you know, please add in the comments is once somebody has spawned, if they move out of their spawn, would that spawn become available? Or do they actually have to take off? Because I heard for AI, they have to actually leave the ship for, like, say, another AI to spawn there. It will tell you that you have to wait, right? And you can't spawn. So that's something I would love to test in multiplayer, to see if you can just vacate the spawn point, because in that case, it becomes super easy. All you have to do is, um, just start up and say you have 4 or 6 spawn points. Like, let's say you have these 7, right? Then you would just move out of the way and then have other people spawn in, right? And that way you still have a full freaking deck like this. Anyways, guys, I don't want to make this video too long, so hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, let me cycle through one more time. Unfortunately, there's the one that didn't update, but let's go through them. So, clear deck, boring. Launch with elevator 3 free, and cats 3 and 4. So kind of cool. And then next one, cat 2 free, and 3 and 4 for launch operations. And is this one? Yeah, that's probably the one that's bugging out. Anyways, this one was with cat 1. Yeah, yeah, this one is the one that wasn't working. Anyways, very cool. That's the cat 1. And yeah, anyways, guys, you guys get the point. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.